What's happening, YouTube? Jonathan Pariente, The Education 10 here, coming at you guys with another video, just a little after midnight. I want to ask you guys to please continue to check and subscribe to my channel for more YouTube videos. Oh, and you know what that music means. Well, this video, for those of you that don't know, well, the NBA conference semifinals have just been completed last night. And boy, did we have two very epic Game 7s that took place the other night. The Toronto Raptors taking on the Sixers, and the Portland Trail Blazers taking on the Denver Nuggets. We'll start first with the... Well, first, it was just a great conference semifinal. I think this was one of the better ones we've had in quite some time. It kind of stinks that a few of the early round matchups did have to kind of happen in the semis and couldn't happen in the conference finals where people really would have tuned into it. By far, the Rockets and Warriors was probably one of the... I think it was one of the more competitive of the series. There was literally not one game in that series that was not decided by at least 6 points or less. It was as close of a conference semi as you could have imagined. The Warriors pulled away, winning it in 6 games. Very easily could have gone 7. But Golden State defeated the Rockets and will move on to the conference finals. And really, how do you describe that series? Well, very simple. The Warriors, when faced with adversity, as they were, Kevin Durant was out for Game 6. Toward the end of Game 6, he missed all of Game 7. But the Warriors, with Klay Thompson, with Steph Curry, with Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, etc., with four of the 5 members of the Hampton Five, they won the series. And you know what? I give the Warriors a lot of credit. They did have to earn this series. This was not one of those series that they blew opponents away. It's just not the case. I said whoever came out of that series, and there's a couple people I know who are Warrior fans, and I'm speaking directly to them. The Warriors had to earn this series. They did that. And now they move on, and we'll see what they do the rest of the playoffs. Are they likely to three-peat? Probably. Very possible they will. But if they do three-peat, it's not going to be, they're just going to blow away like 500, just blow everybody by 30-plus points. They're going to have to scrap and claw a little bit if they want to keep their edge and keep their throne on the top of the NBA mountain. So, the story of this series pretty much, was more the same. James Harden couldn't make those big shots when they counted. The Rockets played their old tricks of forcing up the shots, trying to draw the fouls, and the type of basketball they play with this run-and-gun style and this analytic style of play, and particularly trying to shoot the 3-ball a million times, it didn't work. At the end of the day, the winner of this had to play good team basketball. Golden State did that. So hats off to Golden State for winning that game. Then we had the Nuggets and the Blazers. That was a very interesting conference semi. It was a close series. Definitely have to give both teams a lot of credit. They fought their tails off to get here. And of course, in one of those games, we had the epic, and I mean epic, quadruple overtime game, something that's never happened in an NBA playoff since 1953, to go 4 overtime. The Blazers ended up pulling away with the victory, 140 to 137. I believe that was in Game 4, as I recall. And the Blazers had to come out. They were trailing in Game 7. They were behind for the first half. Damian Lillard did not have his best shooting game. But at the end of the day, it was C.J. McCollum. It was Enes Kanter, other guys off the bench that were able to make up for that and were able to lead the Blazers. And they had to survive. It was a close game. They won by 5 points. The Nuggets definitely showed a lot of fight in this playoff. Nikola Jokic is definitely going to be a star in this league. No doubt about it. Paul Millsap, and and company and Jamal Murray. I think the Nuggets have a great nucleus there that's going to really be key for them going into the future, going into the next few years in the league. So I think if you're the Nuggets, you have nothing to hang your head over. It was a great series. But you know what? The Blazers found a way. And, Damian Lillard, despite not having his best game, he had a double-double. McCollum did what he had to do. And I'm very interested to see where this series will go between the Warriors and the Blazers. I know everyone's already going to write it off, saying, Warriors will win this in 5 games. I think this will be a closer series than people think. Particularly when you look at it this way. For one, this will be the first time for these two in an NBA playoff, in the conference final or in the NBA final itself, that 2 brothers will go against each other. If you can believe. Stephen Curry for Golden State, Seth Curry for the Blazers. And I can assure you, I think the Blazers will be using a lot of Seth Curry in the conference final, at least, to try to... He's going to want to prove something against Steph. I can tell you that. He's been in Stephen's shadow for quite a long time, and I won't be surprised if Seth wants to step out of that shadow a little bit, particularly starting with this conference final. I think so. And it's an intriguing matchup. You're going to have Klay Thompson and Steph Curry going against the tandem of Klay Thompson. You have Klay Thompson and Steph Curry going against the tandem CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard. You're going to have the 2 instigators, Draymond Green, going up against the likes of Enes Kanter. In fact, let me switch that first thing I just said. So it'll be, when Kevin Durant comes back, he will be out for the first game of that series. But you put Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson against Lillard and CJ McCollum, and then you have Seth against Steph. I think if you look at it this way, this matchup could be very interesting. Now, I don't know what path this series will take. It will begin at Oracle, that I do know. Warriors will be down Durant for the first game, but we've already seen the Warriors prove without him they could still win. So this will be an interesting series, and I'm looking forward to this one. Then we had the Celtics, who took on the Bucks. The Bucks just blew the Celtics away. That was the one series that I was actually a little disappointed. That series was, if you kind of look at it, Kyrie Irving tried to do everything himself, and getting back Gordon Hayward, while, in one spotlight it'd be good, it kind of ruined whatever chemistry the Celtics had before he came back, and it affected them. And listen, I respect Brad Stevens. I respect that Celtics team. But there's definitely some sour grapes in that team with Kyrie Irving, and I think Kyrie's days as a Celtic are going to be numbered now going into next season. So for the Bucks, the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the rest of the Bucks team, they're going to go to the conference final, and they will do it against the Raptors, who had one of the most exciting finishes to an NBA playoff game we've seen in quite some time. Kawhi Leonard hit a fall-away jumper that had a couple clanks off the rim, and in the end, fell through a friendly roll, and the Raptors eliminate the 76ers 92-90. Tough loss if you're a Sixers fan, and I feel greatly for those fans. I feel greatly for people like Joel Embiid. That was one of the roughest losses for him, and not too often players show emotion as he did. He knows. He knows how close this team was. He knows how competitive these Sixers are. And they are competitive. They got a great team. Brett Brown is a great coach, and I, first of all, commend the Sixers for retaining him for next year. I think it makes a lot of sense. Everybody was kind of starting to they better fire him. This is why the Sixers lost this series. I'll make it very, very clear what cost them. It's not the team they had. It's not the chemistry. It's not the coach. It's from the point guard. I love Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons has all the tools to become a very effective player in the league. Probably even getting to superstar level, if you ask me. But what killed him and what killed the Sixers in this series was the lack of Ben Simmons having a jump shot. He only took about 5 shots from the field. Yes, he made 4 of them, but in a Game 7, when you know your team and you know you're up against the Raptors, you know it's do or die, it's win or go home, as the point guard, it's not only your job to engineer the offense and to be the general on the court, but the point guard also has to be a great shot maker. You miss one of those shots, if you're not a good shooter, you're not going to make it in this league if you're a point guard. It's not always about distributing the ball all the time. It's also about making the clutch shot when you have to. And Ben Simmons, who has not been able to make a jump shot, that is something, if he wants to make it in this league and be the superstar everybody thinks he knows he can be, he has to work on a jump shot. Joel Embiid was banged up a little bit. He was battling injury. But he also in Game 7 took a couple too many three-point shots. I know he's a great three-point shooter. I'm not knocking him for that. But Joel Embiid is more of a presence in the paint, imposing his will down low, making some big blocks, and can just stuff it into the net from down low. And that's Joel Embiid's game. And the moment you take him away from that and you make him shoot, and you have him shooting threes, again, no knock, he's a great three-point shooter, but that's not where you want a 7-foot guy to be. You want him in the paint, you want him stuffing that net, the interior of the post down low, and being that presence in the paint, somebody who can get the ball to a big body that can just throw it all down. Now, if the Sixers are serious about getting better next year, Simmons has to work on that jump shot. Embiid's going to have to be that presence down low. But I feel the Sixers are not far away. I think they're right there on the precipice of being a very deep playoff team next year. Don't sleep on them. Now, as far as this series for the Raptors will be concerned, going up against the Greek Freak, this is going to be a very exciting series. I'm really looking forward to this. I will be curious to see how the Raptors will be able to contain Giannis Antetokounmpo, who not only can score by himself, you have other shooters around him that can score. A speedster point guard like Bledsoe. Some great three-point shooters like Ersan Ilyasova. You have playmakers around that can distribute the ball. And just knowing you have Giannis down there, who's close to 6'11", the wingspan that he has, and his ability just to take over a game when you need him to, for insurance. I'll tell you, if that series with the Celtics was any indicator, the Bucks are going to be one of the dangerous outs in the Eastern Conference. And I'll say this: even if they do get past the Raptors, which I think they have a shot at, which I think they will do. Definitely will not be an easy series to do it, but I think if I look at it like this, I think the Bucks have the best chance of getting by the Raptors. I will be very intrigued if we see a final. This is a little early prediction, but I think the Bucks will go on to the finals to take on, more likely than anything, Golden State. And I would like to see how the Golden State Warriors will fare against the Greek Freak. There's one thing the Warriors are vulnerable on, and this is the small knock on them to all the very sensitive, to all the very passionate and and vocal Warrior fans or those that are just the bandwagoners that jump on Golden State's boat. Well, they won those 2 series to start things off. Well, they got past the Clippers, they got past the Rockets. The one glaring weakness of Golden State, and it's very obvious, they do not have a big presence down low. And don't tell me Draymond Green is a big presence down low. He's not. Don't tell me Kevin Durant is a big presence down low. He's 6'9", but he ain't a big guy. He's not a big, bulky 6'9" guy. He's a make the impossible shot from downtown guy. He can take over a game, yes, but he's not a Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Bucks have history with Golden State. They have been known to end streaks. Who can forget when the Warriors went 73-9? Who met them in the final? Who met them and ended their winning streak? Bucks. Do I think the Bucks could end the Warriors' shot at a three-peat? I'd say if the Warriors don't get Durant, if Durant's not 100% healthy when he comes back, the Warriors could have a tough battle with the Bucks. They might get DeMarcus Cousins back, and that could add things. That could then change the outcome a little bit, I think. Definitely having Cousins back will make the Warriors a lot deeper. Because right now, the presence in the paint they don't have, and they don't have a very strong bench. And that's a big, glaring weakness of this team. So we'll see. Conference finals begin. The Warriors, Blazers will be later tonight, at 9 o'clock in the evening at Oracle. The Raptors will take on the Bucks in Milwaukee. I'd say the Bucks will win their series. I'll say in 6 games. I think the Warriors should beat the Blazers, but I think it will take 6 games. To be fair, I don't think it'll take 5. I think this will go at least 6. I'll give you my finals when the finals are actually set, and I'll give you my thoughts on that a little bit later. But for now, Jonathan Pariente, The Education 10, saying bye for now.